Welcome to this urgent explainer of Ariel M. Scisney's, that's Ariel, Scisney, visionary book, Majesty in Monotony. Let's jump right in. Today, we're zooming out, and I mean way, way out to a cosmic scale, to uncover the true purpose of humanity. We're going to look at exactly how we can rehumanize our entire 14 billion year story, taking our perspective from just, the everyday mundane and turning it into something truly emboldened. To really grasp our purpose and break out of our day-to-day ignorance, we have to start by answering a pretty foundational question. Where are you in the cosmos? And exactly when are you positioned in the universe right now? I know, it sounds super philosophical, but to get what Scisney is saying here, we have to look at this strictly physically and chronologically. So let's take a look at our cosmic timeline. 13.8 billion years ago, bam, the beginning of time. Move forward to 3.5 billion years ago, and we finally get the first solid signs of life. 65 million years ago, the dinosaurs are wiped out and mammals start doing their thing. Fast forward all the way to 200,000 years ago, we get the very first Homo sapiens. And then, a mere 10,000 years ago, the dawn of agriculture. Think about that for a second. It took nearly 14 billion years of absolute cosmic expansion and millions of years of biological shuffling for our species to finally look up at the sky and just ask, why? But then just look at that number, 10,000. In just the last 10,000 years, humanity completely transformed. We went from small roaming groups of hunter-gatherers into this massive, globally interconnected network that's literally building flying machines and the open-source internet. When you put that up against the billions of years of empty space that came before it, our rapid advancement is just, it's absolutely staggering. In this timeline, it gives us what Scisney calls a strict mandate for our survival. Basically, in order for our species to keep going, every single one of us needs to be totally caught up on the last 10,000 years of human development. That brief, tiny flash of time between your birth and your death, that's your only chance to catch up on human history so you can actually find a calling, a problem that's actually worth solving while you're here. So, the big question is how we operate during that short flash of time. Imagine the individual human mind as a neural lighthouse. It's essentially this highly adaptive clump of fat and salty water inside our skulls, just shooting out beams of data to connect with the broader cosmos. By broadcasting history, math, science, and language, we are literally igniting dormant stars. We are the universe finally experiencing itself. Act 2, the death of dogma. Unfortunately, throughout our short little run on this planet, this beautiful light of knowledge has been repeatedly smothered by institutional entropy and fear. Scisney outlines, very neutrally by the way, how humanity constantly wrestles between two distinct states of being. On one side, you've got historical ignorance and literal witch hunts fueled by dictatorial regimes, systems fundamentally built on keeping people in the dark. But then on the flip side, you have the radical transparency of modern science, the totally open-source nature of the internet, and critical thinking. This friction between the two sides brings us straight to a concept the author calls the mirror of war. The core idea here is that global conflict and warfare actually stem from deep, deep misunderstandings and a total lack of a shared cosmic context. Scisney posits that this mirror of war is really just a reflection of our own societal entropy. When you introduce high degrees of uncertainty into a society, fear just takes over the wheel, and boom, conflict is born. So how do we actually solve that fear? Well, when you zoom all the way out and view our existence on this infinite cosmic stage, you realize something profound. Nobody exists on purpose, no one belongs anywhere, and everyone is going to die. When you look through that specific lens, all of our geopolitical borders and cultural hatreds start to look entirely arbitrary. In the grand scope of a 14 billion year story, dedicating any of your time to hatred is just a massive waste of your cognitive potential. Act 3, rehumanizing our world. So how do we actually break free from this endless cycle of destruction? Scisney presents what I think is the ultimate unifying remedy. Listen to this. If conflict is born through dehumanization and stupidity, then the absolute only way to rehumanize us is by understanding the natural history of all things through critical thinking. It means critical thinking isn't just some boring academic exercise, it is the literal practical tool we need for rehumanization. To get there, the book introduces a framework called educational sovereignty. It's a crucial progression. First, universal access to education. Then, fully grasping that massive 14 billion years shared reality we just talked about. And finally, empowering the individual to step up and solve major problems. Implementing this educational sovereignty is presented as the only true deterrent for crime and poverty, basically because it empowers the individual over the state, elevating all of us out of that messy entropy. And when we pull this off, rehumanization turns our society into what Scisney calls a human hydra. Now, don't worry, this isn't some scary monster of conflict. It's actually a beautifully interconnected network. Imagine every single head as a glowing node of specialized knowledge. We literally become collaborative ambassadors to knowledge, working side by side to solve the universe's greatest mysteries. Act 4, the final hook. Let's do a quick review of our epic journey today and figure out exactly what you need to do next with all this cosmic context. We have traveled all the way from the Big Bang directly to the modern workforce. We've learned how to fight nature, and now we're finally learning how to collaborate with the stars. We've faced down dogma and entropy, and now we absolutely must embrace education to deter crime and dehumanization, stepping up to serve as those glowing nodes in a vast, shared cosmic network. But you know what? Our journey isn't over. Actually, it's just beginning. Make sure to click the playlist to see the epilogue, Welcome Home, and start building your very own sovereign portfolio. Remember this framework. The book is the source code. The tutoring is the training. AI is the runtime. The portfolio is the output. The universe has literally spent 14 billion years evolving just to create you. So the ultimate question is, what problem will you choose to solve with your time?